My name's Zach and I work for the Monarch Fire District. We're here today to go over some fire and home safety with you guys. We want to help keep you safe. I want you to know that you may see us on the street or in the fire station looking just like this in our uniform. But if there's an emergency, we may look a little bit different. And just like that, you can see we have a safe suit on, just like Iron Man or Superman has to put on a suit that keeps them safe while they're out serving you guys. So do we. We may look different, but we're still the same folks out there to help you. We want to let you know to not be afraid of us. We're here to help, and we'll be the same folks when our suit is off. We look just like we did before. Remember, we're the same folks whether we're in our fire gear or we're not, and we're here to help you stay safe. And speaking of safety, let's talk about kitchen safety. We want to be super safe when we're in the kitchen around the stove. Stoves are for adults only, aren't they? Remember, if you're like me and you love watching those cookies baking in the oven, we never, ever want to touch the oven. Remember, watching cookies cook, we do with our eyes, not our hands, because burns are very dangerous. The other thing we don't ever touch is the knobs on the stove. We want to leave that to an adult and always be super safe when we're in the kitchen. If you see a pot handle sticking out off that stove, don't touch that either. Hey, speaking of the stove, what should we do if we see a fire in the oven or on top of the stove? Your job is just to go tell an adult and make sure you're safe. Don't touch it at all. The other item in a kitchen that can cause a little bit of a problem could be the toaster. So if you're making a Pop-Tart, because I love Pop-Tarts, and you happen to see that smoke coming from the toaster, all you need to do is unplug that toaster and then go tell an adult, and you stay safe. Another place in the kitchen that we need to use some caution and be extra safe is at the kitchen sink. Remember that the left side of that sink is where the hot water is, and sometimes that hot water can be super hot. So always be careful when you're messing with the kitchen sink, and especially on the hot water side. And speaking of the kitchen sink, that stuff that Mom and Dad keep underneath it in the cabinet, those are chemicals that they use for cleaning and other things like that. They can make it hard to breathe or burn our skin. So make sure anytime you're in the kitchen, you're not playing under that kitchen sink and getting into any of that stuff, okay? All right, guys, so what do we do if we're laying in bed and the smoke alarm goes off? Do you think we should get up and just take off running out of our room? No, we don't want to do that. We want to get out of bed and we want to stay down low where there's good air, because if there's smoke, it's going to be up high. And we want to stay down low. Even the firefighters crawl down low when they come into a house that there's a fire in. So we're going to crawl over to our bedroom door and we're going to check and see if it's hot. And we always use the back of our hand because we don't want to burn this side if that door is super hot. Now, if that door is hot, would we open it? Of course not. We don't want to do that because that would let the smoke and fire in, right? So we keep the door closed and we look along the bottom and see if there's any smoke coming in underneath. And if there is, we can put a blanket or we can put a towel along the bottom of that door and it'll keep all the smoke and nasty stuff out of our room. Well, if we can't go out the door, what do we do next? Well, every bedroom has two ways out. It's either a door and a window. So we could go to our bedroom window, couldn't we? Now, if we're on the second floor, are we going to open that window and jump out? No, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to open that window and we want to hang a blanket out or do something like that, and we get to use our outside voice to yell for the firefighters to come get us, and you know they're going to be there really fast to help you get out that window. If you're on the first floor, you open that window and with a little bit of assistance, you can climb out that window and you're totally safe. Once you're outside, what we need you to do is go to a meeting place. Have a safe spot that you can go meet with your mom and dad and brothers and sisters. Talk to mom and dad about that and set that up. It might be a clubhouse, it might be a tree or a mailbox in the front yard. And that way everybody knows you're safe and outside. Okay guys, let's talk about matches and lighters. When we find those outside on the playground or at home, is that something you guys should ever pick up? Absolutely not. No, never. Remember, matches and lighters can cause fires accidentally. So if you find either matches or a lighter laying outside, your job is to go tell an adult and let them take care of it. So what will we do if you're camping and your pants catch on fire? We all know that there's good fire and bad fire, and a fire in your house is bad, but a campfire is fun. But if you get too close and you happen to have fire on your clothes anywhere, there's one thing that we tell everybody to do, and it's stop, drop, and roll, and that's the best way to put that fire out. What you do is, instead of running around like crazy, because that's what we do, isn't it? We stop running, cover our face and lay down on the ground, drop, and then we roll around until the fire goes out.
Stop, drop, and roll.
One thing I want to talk to you guys about is hiding from a fire. Remember, nobody can hide from smoke or fire. So even though you're really good at playing hide and seek, when there's an emergency, we never want you to hide from a fire. We want you to know that the best thing you can do is use your outside voice and yell for help if you can't just get out of your house, and know that the firefighters will be there to help you get out and be super safe. Hi parents, we just had an amazing time going over fire and home safety with your kiddos. And we'd like to just go over a few topics with you, from fire extinguishers to smoke alarms. But first, let's go over what to do with 911. We need you to talk to your kiddos and teach them what do's and don'ts there are with 911, what their address is, and make sure they know you by your name, not just mom and dad, because that's important information. When it comes to fire extinguishers, make sure you have a fire extinguisher that's not out of date. 10 years or newer is very important, and make sure you know where it is and it's in proper working order. Stay on top of that to stay safe in your house. When it comes to smoke alarms, we want to make sure you're testing those every month. Just push that button and make sure it works, and make sure you're changing those batteries annually. The other thing to have is an evacuation plan and a meeting place for you and the kiddos. We want you to get out, and stay safe, and nothing makes us happier than to pull up in front of a house and have you standing at that meeting place telling us everybody's out and safe. From us to you, please just stay safe and out of harm's way.